Hi, I'm Bran, and I love When Calls the Heart.
Do you know?
Hi. I'm Jax, and I like When Calls the Heart for real.
I'm Dan. For real. I despise When Calls the Heart. And this is the
Deck the Hallmark
Deck
Podcast.
the Hallmark Podcast.
Deck the Hallmark is his podcast. Brandon and friends host his podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Well, hello, everybody.
Oh, boy.
How are we? This is weird because I got word yesterday that Jax was going to be in studio. Ted said, I've got it all lined up. Everything's going to be great.
Belize 2 weeks ago. Last week, Delta screwed it up. I thought for sure you would be here this week.
And then you said something about the times didn't work. You're learning hair over Zoom.
And that was the part that did throw me.
What does
for a
that
loop,
mean?
'cause you got a hair appointment here in an hour, and it's not in person, and I'm worried. Can I say that I'm worried?
You're worried. Here's the thing. So this was my fault that I couldn't make this, but a woman that used to help me when I would go into Dry Bar and get a blowout, I don't want to spend money doing that. Or Ted's not willing to foot the bill for that anymore, which I totally understand. Yeah. So I am paying her to teach me over Zoom. So it's like, teach a woman to fish. Yeah. So that's what I'll be doing today. So I'm so sorry that I'm not there in person, but my hair comes first.
I apologize for my naivete. What's a blowout?
Okay, so a blowout is when you go into
turn the dryers
Dry Bar.
all on high.
Yep.
And it looks like you stuck your finger in an electric socket. Bam!
Blowout.
You guys probably don't notice when I have a blowout because it's not something a gentleman would notice.
So we've seen you with one?
Okay. Please don't.
No.
Please don't you dare.
No. Wait. We've seen you with a blowout?
It's basically like if my hair looks like it's done, which I'm not also sure if you've ever noticed, then I probably had a blowout.
Okay, again, I don't need
No, when we see
the
you like
assumptions.
No. When we see you like at the cons, your hair is done typically.
Blown out.
Yep.
Is that a blowout?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. A blowout is technically when you go in, they wash your hair, they dry your hair, and then they curl it. But I go in and I wash my hair first myself because that saves money, and they just curl it. So they do a dry style. They do it for you. A dry style.
It's a dry style blowout, so I'm live.
That's right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Dry Bar should be a sponsor of this.
So when you go to Dry, and now if you can't answer this, that's totally fine, but you've never let me down before, Jax. When you go into Dry Bar and you want the blowout works, what does that cost?
Ooh, it's been a long time since I've got the works, but I'll tell you what that costs. If you want the blowout and just a regular, like you don't have extensions, you want it curled or straightened or whatever you want after the blowout, it's $55 plus tax and tip.
Okay.
If you want a braid, that's going to cost you an extra $10. If you want an up-teeny or an updo, that's going to bring you $100.
You're a big up-teeny.
I'm a big up-teeny. They call me up-teeny. Yes, Aaron.
Hey, Jax, I have a question for you. Have you seen the article about the woman who flies to Turkey to get her hair done because it's cheaper than going in New York?
Wait,
what?
I'm sorry. No,
she still has to fly to Turkey.
Now, Aaron, would you send this to me?
I'll send it to you. I went down like a whole rabbit hole of the expenses of getting your hair done in New York.
Oh, I kind of want to go to Turkey now, like a vacation,
she wanted
and I get my hair done
extensions
cheaper.
done, and it was like over $4,000 here in America,
Right.
and in Turkey they would do it for $500. So she booked
You
flights,
don't wanna
hotel,
lose
and
money.
food for $2,000, and had a vacation and got her hair done.
That's fantastic.
And was she happy with the way her extensions turned out?
She loved it. So she's like, "This is gonna be my new plan now. Just go on vacation, get my hair done.
Wow.
Call it a
That's
day."
not a bad gig there.
That's not a bad.
Sounds
But
like
I will say
that sounds like a BuzzFeed article.
you could
Is that
just
a
go to
BuzzFeed
Turkey.
It's
article?
got to be a BuzzFeed
Is that on
article.
BuzzFeed?
I don't think so.
Seems like
I
something
will say
BuzzFeed would do.
$55 was low for I especially like in Manhattan. I was thinking it was going to be more than that.
Well,
so that's
it's
not bad.
interesting. Dry Bar is a franchise, and those are the prices all across the country.
Okay.
So it's like you go in Kansas City, you go whatever city you're in,
Gotcha.
and it will run you that much as well. So that's sort of
So you're learning on
interesting.
Zoom how to do a dry style blowout.
Exactly, from my girl Christy,
Girl
who's
Christy.
the manager at the Dry Bar, and we always like talk, and I think we're friends. I mean, I'm paying her. I'm paying her for this.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Right.
But like, I'm not taking advantage of her expertise.
No.
But yeah, I'm gonna learn, and then oh my gosh, I feel like next time you guys see me, I'm gonna try and it's gonna look awful.
I can't wait.
Like a rogue Annie Warbox.
I can't wait.
I get that.
It's a hard knock life.
Can I ask you this? Something I just thought about. Have you ever seen somebody in Manhattan wearing a hat? It's a man wearing a hat, and on the hat, it's an arrow pointing down, as in man, and then hat, it's like pointing in, or like some way talking about what he's wearing,
Manhattan?
and then it just says ton, or
This is one of the worst things we've ever done.
let's just think it through.
I never have like Manhattan.
Yeah.
I haven't yet.
What if you
but
just had a dude in a hat and it just said Manhattan instead of A and it was I-N apostrophe. So Manhattan. Like
Manhattan.
Like he's just Hatton.
I'm Hatton.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's bad. It's bad. Can I say this? It's bad.
Guys, before we start, can everyone just say hi to my mom? She's listening to these religiously. Hi, Mom.
Hey,
I love you.
Love you. Miss you. We're talking about When Calls the Heart, season 10, episode Trace.
Trace.
What?
You got it?
Yes.
Nope, different Trace.
Yeah.
Different Trace.
No one's asked me anything in a long time.
And there's a reason for that.
I
Trace.
got a blowout.
You did?
Yeah, I pooped my pants real bad.
Yeah.
Went everywhere.
You had a different kind of blowout, but I love it.
Yeah.
You were laughing really hard about pooping your
So funny.
own pants.
Oh.
Is there a story behind this, or that was it?
That's it.
Okay.
Got a
All right.
blast.
You've got a bust.
Got a blast.
Got a blast. Okay. Oh boy.
August 13th, 2023. It's called Jax.
Oh, baby.
Baby.
Oh, baby.
Oh, baby. And it went a little something like this. Bill's annoyed again.
Yeah.
This time, Bill's annoyed because people keep coming into his town. Because Rosemary ran an article about the springs, the hot springs, if you remember the central plot point of this season. Well, he is annoyed that people are coming into the town until one of the tourists is a hottie. Then he kind of lowers the guard a little bit. He's like, let's see where this goes. Rosemary is getting closer and closer to her due date and is getting more and more nervous by the day. To take her mind off of it, she's been planning her own baby shower. Nathan tells Faith that she shouldn't travel alone anymore, and so she's like, okay, I'll ask Frickum if you'll come with me. And he's like, fine, that's not even what I meant, but whatever, man. A kid who is visiting the town with the woman that we all know her name. She's new. And this boy is also here. He tries to strike up a conversation with Gowan, and Gowan is like, listen, kid, I'm not going to be here too long because I'm going to prison. The kid's like, cool, I'm going to get ice cream. Deuces wild. That kid's mom, the hottie from the beginning, is trying to hang out with Bill some more, and Bill's not having it. He's like, I'm grumpy. You don't want to hang out with me. The women surprise Rosemary with a spa day. Hey. They're all getting blowouts. Woo! They're getting blowouts. But really, this is all a ruse to try to get the baby. They're going to do a surprise baby shower, so they got to
get it all set up.
So let's give her a spa day. Nathan,
however, will it turn out?
Good. Nathan ignores Faith's suggestion and says, I'm going to travel with you instead. And he immediately jumps at the opportunity to take down any noise that he hears. The noise ends up being a squirrel. It's big fun. That's Nathan's storyline for this week. For all the Nathan lovers out there, he chases a squirrel away. You guys remember the hottie from the beginning?
I do. Yeah.
So the son of that hottie goes to hang out with the kids at the hot springs. Yeah. And this kid's like, I'm smart. I go to an all-boys school. I know how things work. I think I know how the hot springs became hot to begin with. Turns out the kid's right.
Yeah.
And also turns out that maybe he had fun with other kids.
What? Unbelievable.
This is big for him. His mom is kind of shady doings. We see her, she's on the phone at some point or something, and she's like, I've almost come I got what I came here for, something like that. I don't know what's up with her. We'll find out. The baby shower's here, and it is a lot of fun, and they all take turns reminding Rosemary that she's wonderful, that she's going to be a great mom, and it's just what Rosemary needs. Lucas. Let's talk about Lucas. Lucas is trying to figure out a way for Gowan to not have to go to prison. And so remember the big boss man from
Jeffries?
other seasons?
Yes.
He comes in there, and we all know what's going on here. We've all tracked it and followed it. But best I can figure, Lucas bluffs his way into getting this guy to like pull back any sort of complaint. Drop the charges against Gowan. Yes. So he's like, hey, I've got information that you're going to need. And so, or I got proof that you're a big liehead or whatever. So you're going to need to pull back from Gowan. He's like, well, you're good at poker, I guess. So I guess I better go ahead and listen. And so he does. He listens, and Gowan is now a free man. But Gowan doesn't seem super thrilled about this. Gowan's like, I should have gotten what I had coming to me. And so, but you know, what can you do? And Lucas and Elizabeth end the episode by talking to each other, get a conversation, and that's real cute. They kiss a little bit. And that, my friends, was When Calls the Heart, Season 10, Episode 3. Oh, baby.
Oh, baby.
Nailed it.
We did it.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and we will break this
episode down.
Here on Deck the Hallmark. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Hope you're having a wonderful Thursday today. I know I am.
Yep.
Let's break this episode down. Episode 3 of the 10th season of When Calls the Heart. Let's start with the hot take. It is where we share exactly how we felt about this episode of television. We do not hold back, and I'm gonna kick it to the person who I know never holds back. She always tells us exactly how she feels. Jax, what did you think about Oh Baby?
Oh baby. So yeah, I'm enjoying this hottie, Mrs. St. John. You know, even though I love Jack Wagner myself, I think that he deserves to find love on screen and off. And I think that she's a nice addition. You know, the kid who plays her son is a good actor, but I will say that there is something a little unnerving about their 1%er energy coming into Hope Valley. So yes, I want Bill to find love, but I'm just not sold on these two characters yet. I thought the baby shower stuff was a lot of fun. I also liked the text that I was receiving from Sheila during this episode because she made me laugh. So that really kind of enhanced.
Well, what is she saying?
Okay, the one that made me laugh the most, and I did ask permission to share it, and you know, speaking of people who don't hold back, Sheila
Calloway? No.
Back. No. She said to me, okay, vanilla lavender wedding cake sounds appropriate for this couple. And I'm like, oh, that sounds like a delightful wedding cake. That's what I'm thinking. But I'm like, this is Sheila talking about Lucas and Elizabeth. What would you guys say the explanation is?
Boring?
Bland.
She says, vanilla is the common synonym for bland, and lavender puts you to sleep.
Got him.
That's funny.
So not only did I enjoy this episode, but I enjoyed the whole experience of watching the episode, thanks in large part to Sheila.
I like this episode. I thought it was fine. And here's the thing. I really liked, you know what I talked about last week? How I want some new life, even though I'm nervous to bring anyone new into this because there's already so many storylines. I liked these new people. That brought a little fun energy to it. And so, yeah, I mean, the baby shower stuff's whatever. I was more involved. I was more interested in Bill and this new family and whatnot. But yeah, it was fine. I think it's the best episode of the season, and I had an okay time watching it. Dan?
Wow. I got to be honest. I don't know how every time it gets me, but I always forget that When Calls the Heart has a very like similar arc where the first 2 episodes, maybe 3, set up, and then the last 2 end it, and then there's basically a reset for the next season. Occasionally there's a holdover of like a wedding or something, but typically it's just kind of self-contained. This was my least favorite.
Oh, interesting.
Of the 3.
Okay.
Are you with me, Jax? Is your favorite?
I actually, go ahead.
I actually liked I actually liked number 2 was my favorite so far.
And I would have 1 as my favorite so far.
And then look at us. Look at us.
And so, like, because I do think in 1, this idea of having to restart this show with nothing to go towards and having as crazy as having the evolutionary movements of rock happen over the course of a day instead of a few million years. Like, that was like a fascinating swing in comparison to what we get after that. So yeah, this is about a baby shower. You guys are talking up all this stuff about this woman that comes to town. That's like under 10 minutes of this episode. If it was all about that, then yeah, here's what it's about. It's about cake tasting. It's about a baby shower. It's about Nathan and Faith in one of the worst plot lines this show has ever conceived of. And then it's about kids doing some detective work and figuring out why the hot springs are there. And that's what this episode's about. If it was about what you guys are talking about, if it's about the hottie in town who may need to be nefarious and about her and Bill and her on the phone, then yeah, you're right. That would be the best. But you guys are selling a bill of goods. That's like 3 minutes. We had 37 minutes of please somebody shoot me. And that's what we got in this episode.
In The Sims.
In The Sims, not in real life. Banking.
In The Sims.
Yeah, of course.
Dan, I actually think it's generous that you called what was happening between Faith and Nathan and the dog a plot line.
It is brutal. Guys, we can get there now, and you can go ahead and click the all the fields if you want.
It's time for all the fields. We're talking about all the fields we have.
Bring it over.
Bring it. Here it comes.
There it goes. I understand that some people think I'm being, just trying to rouse up a fan base here with all the Nathan Elizabeth stuff, and I would never. But you cannot tell me that Nathan and Faith have chemistry.
No,
you can't. Listen. I've always thought that McGarry is like a dude who just is a great actor that has chemistry with everyone. And Andrew Brooks, we've had both of those on our show. Andrew Brooks is also wonderful. They have no what are you doing?
Fixing Buddy the Elf.
Great. They have no chemistry. None whatsoever. It is zero. They are barely brother and sister. And this plot line that they send them on is absolutely patently absurd. I've now come
should
around.
Be with May.
I'm full-fledged now on the side of the people that run When Calls the Heart hate Kevin McGarry and Team Nathan. I have no other explanation for this.
You should be with me.
At the time, I thought the choice was Lucas. I stand by that because of the lines of dialogue they make Elizabeth say and they make Nathan say. But this is crazy, guys. This is crazy. We could add 10 more minutes of the new people in town. We could add 10 more minutes of this dude in all white with a crazy golf hat on who's a kid talking about his school and science. We could add any of that wasn't Faith and Nathan, but we didn't. And that, for that reason alone, this has got to be the worst episode that we've seen.
That's fair. No, that's a fair reason.
Yeah.
It's a fair reason. Jackson, any feels for you?
Yeah, I had 2 big feels. My feels were when, in all fairness, Dan, I hear you out about Faith and Nathan, but when Kevin McGarry looked at Andrea Brooks and he said, I've been here many times, it's never looked like this. And he, everyone thinks he's referring to the scenery, but he looks at her. Or Faith thinks he's referring to, and he looks at her. I was like, that's that McGarry smolder. Yeah. That's that McGarry smolder that we all know and love. And I felt it. it. And then I got legitimately teary when Rosemary and Elizabeth were talking about motherhood and said a big part of motherhood is supporting other mothers. I was really in my feels. I was legitimately crying. Like, there's nothing like having a tribe of women around. Is it okay if I say tribe? Actually, I don't know if that's okay anymore, but a group of women. Someone let me know. Call me out. Call me in. Educate me.
I'm going to call you out and call you in, pal.
Yeah, so both in.
Once I call you out, you're going to call me back in.
I want to learn. But I think it's that sisterhood and that bond felt very powerful, and I was touched. I had a lot of feels there.
A weird thing happened. In this episode. For the better part of this series, Bill's been a whatever for me. Like, not
the
mad.
only time he wasn't was when he was forensic investigator.
Yes.
When he was going on week to week cases.
That was great, and I would watch that show.
That was life. We were living large.
Something happened in this week's episode where I was like, I like this guy. He's like, his grumpiness made me laugh multiple times in this episode. Him, once again, and maybe it's because it was kind of an investigation episode where he's up there with the kids and he's just kind of like, what are the kids going to learn their lessons? Like, I don't know. It all kind of worked for me. Bill worked for me in this episode.
You don't work for me.
And, okay, fair. And I just want to let everyone know that while not all of the characters in this show work for me, sometimes out of nowhere, it just happens. And that's what happened this week. Bill worked for me this episode. So there you go. Let's take a quick break. We're going to come back and we're going to get into the Wait What and the hopes and valleys here on Deck the Hallmark. It's time for the Wait What. It's where we talk about what in this episode made us go, wait, what? I'm going to send it over to my friend Jax. Jax, what you waiting and what you wanting?
So I thought all the baby shower stuff was fun, and I liked them running around trying to make it a surprise, like those antics. And you know, when Rosemary has the cucumbers over her eyes and Fiona's holding her hand pretending to be Elizabeth, sure. But like, if we think about this, and I wanted to ask your guys' opinion, like, I don't think this is a very nice thing to do. Like, they're basically being like, we're not going to take any of your ideas, and then we're going to do this thing that you know is just to make you feel better about being a mom, and it's going to be really heavy-handed and obvious. So you're not going to get what you want, and you're going to think we're patronizing you.
Sure.
Like, I felt uncomfortable for, like, Rosemary to be like, oh yay, the big surprise is that my shower's a week earlier.
Yeah, I will say this, Jax. You hit the nail on the head there and did it much kinder than I would have, because like, if you know anyone that enjoys the minutia of planning, like, you took her biggest joy. Like, some people live to get stressed out about planning something. Like, they do. Like Elizabeth Cullen. Elizabeth Cullen comes down here. She's like, these two guys, we're not gonna make it. I'm gonna need a ventilator. She loves it. She loves planning Bramblefest, and she's amazing at it.
Yeah.
Rosemary.
What if we moved it up a week and we did the whole thing ourselves?
Can you imagine? Look, Rosemary does a lot of stuff that drives me bonkers, but she's very thoughtful and she plans things very well. To take her big events.
Yeah, that's fair.
And to take the planning from her, like, to take that joy from her and act like you're giving her a gift, that is absurd.
It's fair.
I hated it. That was tough. You guys in your favorite episode of the season. It's unbelievable.
It was just me.
My second favorite.
It was just me being that guy. Yeah. Anything else, Jax?
No, that was my biggest, like, what is happening here?
So, Bill is, I'm reminded in this episode, both the judge and the mayor, and also runs a restaurant. Throughout this episode, he is called both of those things in title.
That's right.
The kids call him judge.
Yeah.
Some people call him mayor.
That's right.
What trumps what is a question that I had. Well, judge would trump it?
Yeah. The mayor gets to, it's like it's like the executive branch and the judicial branch. They both have their own alley. So
I'm an alley.
No, different.
I was just, reminded that he did both those things, and yet he's called both of those things by different people. Like, just depending, I guess, on the situation, he is called one or the other. I don't know. But my biggest one is this. At one point, the new kid is in the saloon, and he is moving. He moves a chair, and Lucas is talking to Frickum, and he's like, "Why do people keep moving the furniture?" And I know why this kid's moving furniture. He's not from there. And he's, just doing his thing. Trying to get why do people keep moving the furniture? This seems to be a problem.
Over and over again.
Because it's something he sees this kid who's new in town doing it, and he's reminded of all of the other times that people have been moving the furniture in the saloon. We get no other information, but this does seem to be something that Lucas is at least thinking about. Why are people moving the furniture?
Why are they doing it?
And now I can't stop thinking about it. Dan?
Hope this isn't another Valentine's Day prank.
Yeah. Why do people keep moving the furniture?
God, if I had a nickel for every time. Look, this episode takes place, I think, over the course of a couple of days. We see every single character in this episode. Every single one. We see all the women together, extensively together. Where is baby Jack?
That's a very good question.
Where is he? What has happened to this child?
He's probably moving the furniture.
No one who's watching him.
Lucas isn't. He's trying to get Gowan out of jail.
The men are like, who's left?
Wait, it's that girl with the braids that watches.
That girl with the
braids, of course. That guy.
We don't see Joseph in this episode, I don't think. You're right, Sheila. Joseph's watching baby.
Joseph, yeah.
Well, no, but Joseph's doing the wood.
Yeah. I was about to say, and speaking of that, Joseph and Lee, wait a minute. Joseph and Lee carve, create, and polish a glider chair and crib in one afternoon. Not one day, like in one 4 to 6 hour span.
Easy.
Like,
well, I mean, they're men of the frontier. Couldn't you do that, Dan?
Luke McFarlane is offended. Like watch some of his wood making Instagram video. He takes all day to make us like a deck the Hallmark ornament, and Lee and Joseph 100 years ago are just churning out a glider in an afternoon and a crib for good measure. It's absurd.
I'm like, why are people keep moving the furniture?
Yeah, I don't know. I love how we're continually arguing that it's a good thing that Henry blew up a mine.
Yeah.
Can we just on the surface? I'm not saying there weren't good things that came out of it, but this guy went completely reckless and sideways, could have done harm to hundreds of people. He decided to blow up oil is flammable, guys. He decided to blow up a oil mine.
Yeah.
And we are all retconning this event to make him the hero.
Well, it caused a fissure. What was it called?
Fissure.
Yes. Fissure. Called a fissure.
I still don't know how that made the rocks move there, but that's neither here nor there. Not my problem.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, not my problem at all. And then lastly, I hate to do this because the show isn't right about the time period at all. Cooper's goggles are from the future. Cooper traveled into the pond in the way home.
Went
to the 1950s and brought back those goggles to do the exploring. So how did he do it without the goggles? Because he had to go in. I don't know. We're in a bit of a time loop here, but that's what happened there.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It's time for Hopes and Valleys. That's where we talk about what's in this show. This episode gave us hope for the future, or maybe, as Bubba Nasal gives, a valley. Jax.
I'm really excited to see Rosemary and Lee become parents. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
What's bumming me out, and I will be angry if it goes down this road.
Bummed.
I'm real bummed, is when Faith was like, well, I'll just ask Mike Hickam to go with me. He is not someone's sloppy seconds.
She's a big Hickam fan. That's right.
Yeah, I love Hickam. And I'm like, okay, number one, Ben Rosenbaum is a very talented actor. He should be doing more. He's a theater guy. He should be doing a lot more on this show. Number two, I'm sorry, what? I just don't like that. You don't have to give him a romance, but don't always have him be playing second fiddle or a side piece. And I hope that that's not where this is going. So and if it does, you will see me unhinged.
Season 10, it's gone. It's where it's gone.
Maybe they should bring you on to be Hickams.
Yeah.
I may have said that specifically in my email to Brian.
Wow, how about that?
Not that you wrote an email of that kind. Yeah.
Not that I wrote an email to Brian.
Okay.
Brian, if you're listening, I'm available after the strike's over.
Right, of course. No.
Or during, I guess.
Apparently, because there is no God, no actors or writers can work except for Americans working on When Calls the Heart. Sheesh. Can't get a break there for the next Mission Impossible? No. Can we get one for When Calls the Heart? You betcha. It's unbelievable.
All right. So there is a new kid in this episode that we've talked about a lot. There's another kid that I've never seen before. And it's Goldberg from the Mighty Ducks.
That's right.
He is.
Oh my gosh,
Goldberg from the Mighty Ducks is in the pond, and he was awesome. He had a couple lines. This kid was fantastic. Let him run the show. What's it? He's in every episode?
He's been in every episode this season.
Every episode this season? There's only three. We're only three episodes in.
Find with Cooper.
Okay. Yeah. I like this
Creek,
kid.
you mean? Yeah.
This is but he shined in this episode. He shined in this episode. And I'm saying give Goldberg the keys to the kingdom. Let him run this show. The show's in good hands with Goldberg. Dan.
I am obviously it's a double valley for me this week.
Double valley.
Valley 1 is Brand talked about a stew last week.
I did.
And this is not it. And then Valley 2, only 3 kids in an entire class of school wanted to get to skip school for a science project to go to the hot springs. Only 3. She's like, who else wants to investigate as part of your science project the hot springs? Clearly, we've just lost our way as a society. Every kid's hand should be up. Every kid should be like, yes, I volunteer as tribute to go swim all day instead of be in this dumb classroom where we learn random Latin words. The valley for me.
Carpe diem.
Carpe diem. Hey, you know something also that I just thought about in regards, because somebody talked about how Goldberg is the new Robert. Robert in this episode is a mail carrier.
Yeah.
But it's a part of the fake ruse, which is the thing that like he brings Lucas the thing. Is he actually a part of the mail team, or was that all the mail team, or was it all a charade?
Oh man.
How did I miss?
Because
Robert?
if Robert is a mail carrier, that's my valley. The mail's it's not getting where it needs to be. It's just not happening. What was that?
At the general store.
So he carries the mail.
So because he works at the general store, he also carries the mail. Yeah. Got it. All right, it's time for the What's Calling My Heart. We get fresh new emails in every single week, and we read them. What's calling your heart? What's making you? What's bringing you some joy? Let's find out. Do we got something fresh, something hot, something new?
It's new. It's from Susan. It says, how dare you let Jax on the show saying the word tribe? That is...
Whoa!
What?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
But I appreciate her telling me.
Yeah.
Because I should be
calling you out and calling you in.
No, this is from September 29th. 2022.
What happened?
I don't know.
Was Robert running the mail? Was Robert in charge of our email?
The cracks.
And it's so weird.
This is from Susan. She says, "Hello, Bran, Dan, Panda, and Jax. Brian, kicking up the road."
She says
she
that?
Didn't say that.
Oh, you added that.
Yeah. What's been calling my heart lately has been the When Calls the Heart podcast.
Oh, wow.
I've never seen an episode, nor do I have any desire whatsoever to watch a single minute of that drivel. Wow. But I love this podcast so much. I went back and started listening from season 1, episode 1, when Bran and Panda had all the hope in the world for this poppycock show. Listening to the air being slowly let out of the hope balloons Bran and Panda had brought tears of joy to my eyes from laughing so hard. Dan, I'm so happy you've been vindicated once and for all. Thank you, Susan. Appreciate that. My hope is for this show to never end so I can continue listening to this podcast. And my valley is that I've finally caught up. So now I'll have to start watching Hallmark Christmas movies so I can listen to more podcasts. P.S. Please do more Lifetime Uncorked. Okay. They're my absolute favorite. We will. We did. Love you guys. Thanks for arguing and bickering daily so the rest of us can have a chuckle on our drives to work. Sincerely, Susan from Houston.
Wow. Susan. The emails from September are so fun because those people could not be listening anymore.
There's a chance.
There's a chance that they gave up. That they were like, this is no longer fun.
That's right.
So that's always really fun too, because it's just like you never know. It's always like kind of like this is funny, silly. We did, everybody. Congratulations, Jax. You want to come on back down here next week? Come down to Greenville.
I would love to come down to Greenville next week. If my hair appointment goes well, you'll be seeing me with a new do.
A new do and a Mountain Dew. You're doing the do. We'll be back next week. Until then, maybe the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. What? For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.